Hey everybody, I'm up here at a warming shelter for my own personal day of prayer and fasting, and I want to tell you about that process. Specifically, when should we fast, how should we fast, and most importantly, why should we fast? Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and leave me a comment below on how this process is going for you. Let's get into it. First of all, when should we fast? And that's just it. Jesus in Matthew 16 doesn't say, hey, if you fast, but when you fast. Meaning he assumes that the disciples and us today are fasting, that it's a practice and a habit in our Christian walk. He goes on to say, when you fast, don't be like the hypocrites who put on a somber face, put on a display for others to watch. So when you fast, hey, make it about the Lord, not other people. There's an early Christian writing that continues this thought. It's called the Didache. It's not in the Bible, it's extra biblical. It's basically a guide for Gentiles on how to conduct their worship services. And it says this, hey, when you fast, don't be like the Pharisees who fast on Wednesdays and Fridays. You be different. You fast on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And when you pray, pray 3 times a day the way the Lord taught you, the Lord's Prayer. It's funny, meaning 100 years later after Christ, the powerful first century church that we read about in the book of Acts, they were still habitually and routinely fasting, not shedding light on themselves, but shedding light on the gospel. Now, how should we fast? Well, it's exactly that. Fasting should be done not for other people, not to show off, but to shed light on the power of the Holy Spirit and our dependence on God, to draw close to Him, to have a need of Him in our life, the way that we need food, the way that we need water, and our sustenance. If somebody notices that you're fasting, Jesus does say that we should keep these things just between us and God, but we don't have to be weird about it. If another Christian realizes that you're fasting, you can just tell them you're fasting and they'll understand. And if a non-believer is wondering why you're not eating food, you can tell them that you're fasting, but remember to highlight Jesus and not yourself. Remember to explain why you want to fast for Jesus in His incredible work, rather than your own works, your own devotion. That's what's going to bring them to the Lord. I've done 10-day fasts. Some people call them a Daniel fast, where you only eat vegetables and go without meat. I've gone without coffee, alcohol. I've gone without social media. All sorts of different things you can fast from with the right heart behind it. I've gone from sunup to sundown without eating any food like I am today. But I realize, though it doesn't matter as much how we fast, it does matter the heart behind it. So why do we fast? Now, when I fast, I know that I can go a day without eating and still rely on my own strength. I can be self-focused, or I can just be distracted. I can focus on work or hiking or driving and not really focus on God. And that's the whole point. Fasting is to bring us to God in dependence on Him. This morning, I drove up here to this warming shelter and I was super excited. I packed up all of my gear. I got up here early for the sunrise, and it's about 45 minutes to an hour from my house. So I drove all the way up here, and I realized, because I was in a rush to get out the door, that I forgot to put my bag in the car. So I debated it for a minute. Could I go off of my own wit, my own strength? You know, I have my cell phone. Could I go miles into the wilderness on unmarked winter trails without my backup map, without my water, without my food, without all of the essentials or my survival kit? And I was pretty confident. I said, yeah, I could probably make it. Anyone who goes into the wilderness will tell you how much of a risk that is, how it's unwise. For me, that's why I fast. It's the same thing in the Christian life. God gives us a survival kit. He gives us the tools of prayer and fasting. Trying to go through life without habitually praying and fasting as a Christian is like trying to go through the wilderness without your survival gear. You might make it for a little while, but you're not going to do it long term. You're going to get lost, discouraged, or worse, just be led to destruction down the path. So Reluctantly, I had to get over my pride. I turned my car back on, drove back home, spent an extra hour and a half to 2 hours driving so that I could have my essentials, my survival bag. That's what I encourage everyone to do if they're considering fasting. Ask yourself this question: how dependent am I in my Christian walk on the Lord? Do I need His answers or do I have my own answers? How distant do you feel from God? If you feel like you could be closer to God, if you want to rely more on His strength, then I would increase the frequency and the focus of your prayer and fasting. That's how I would measure it. Thank you all for watching this video. Be sure to comment below, let me know how your own practice of prayer and fasting is going. I'd love to hear about it, and please subscribe to our church channel. Thank you.